So, hello, welcome to this week's Top 5 for the week of November 19th, 2015. I am Christina Rees.
I am Rainey Knudson. Number 5. This week is Debtfair. You've heard about it. I wrote about it.
Yes.
It's opening this Friday, November 20th at Art League Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Fisher and Kenneth Pietrobono, I think is his last name, organized this. Two guys from New York. They're aligned with Occupy Museums. And if you aren't aware of what this is, they invited artists to come acknowledge how much debt they have, personal debt, whether to universities or credit card debt or what have you. They could do this anonymously and then put a piece in this show, and the pieces will be organized by creditor. My expectations for the visual experience of this show are not super high. It's an interesting idea, and in the press release, they say that of the 99 profiles to date, and I'm not sure these are all Texas artists, the artists on Debtfair represent $5.1 million in debt already, which seems like quite a lot of debt for a bunch of poor artists.
I think that kind of initiative is really necessary right now anyway. So number 4 this week is Francesca Fuchs, a Houston-based artist, originally from Germany. She's showing at Talley Dunn's gallery in Dallas.
Christmas trees!
They're Christmas trees. These paintings are not seasonal for her. She paints Christmas trees all year long. I love these paintings. I've always loved these paintings. The first time I saw them in Francesca Fuchs' studio, I was beguiled by them. They're not sweet.
She takes these really saccharine domestic moments, whether it's Christmas trees or babies or whatever, or family photos, and she excises them of a lot of the Disney-like, Treacly emotion around it.
Yeah.
How much do you think her work is about her just formal, painterly kind of...
More than half, maybe.
I think a lot of it has to do with...
Maybe 80%, actually.
Chalky surface quality and the thin layers and everything. I mean, I think that's a huge part of her work.
I haven't really seen anything quite like it from another painter. There are elements of Marlene Dumas or Luc Tuymans or that kind of thing going on, but she's her own animal.
And Marlene Dumas are never going to paint a Christmas tree. Never.
Oh, Luc Tuymans would paint a Christmas tree for sure. I bet he's already done it.
He's already done it. He's copying Francesca Fuchs.
Yeah. So, number 3 this week is Joyce Pensato, the Brooklyn-based 70-year-old who
I love that she's 70 and she's making these angry, drippy, crazy paintings.
They're great. They're unhinged in the best possible way. You've probably seen images of them. So Batman, Bart Simpson, Mickey Mouse, they look like they come from the brain of a person who's in a straitjacket in the corner spitting. She's only really become a thing in the larger sort of art world in the last, I don't know how many years, not that many years. She used to be a studio mate with Christopher Wool. So as gallerists would walk through to visit him, they would see her work. And when she was doing all abstract stuff, they were kind of ignoring her. But when one of the dealers caught sight of her, I think Mickey Mouse characters, that's when things got traction.
Okay, number 2. We saw this last week. Linda Lopez and Alina Tensor at Pig and Blanket, Fox, what is it?
Fox and Front, Pig and Pony. This is a house gallery in Austin. This was one of the mini stops we made when all of the Glasstire crew was in town last weekend. And this is one that was a standout, I know, for you and for me. There's only 3 works in the show.
Yeah, it's 2 sort of assemblage sculptures by Linda Lopez, who lives in Arkansas. And then there's 1 video by Alina Tensor.
Yeah, the video is...
You described it as a Sesame Street video from the early 70s. And it is. It's hypnotic and makes you understand balance, and I mean, and it's brightly colored and simple.
It is. It's kind of, and in the 70s, these kind of videos, they're just almost unintentionally cool. but but they're and
I
very
think they were
simple.
intentionally cool. I think people at the time were looking at work, minimalism or whatever.
They
and
were
like,
looking at Nauman is what they were looking at, and then they
Yeah.
were putting it on Sesame Street, and that's what this looks like. And then you want to talk about the sculpture?
I just enjoyed. I thought they were really impeccable and smart, and the combination of materials. I liked the way she handled the ceramic pieces. Number one,
Yeah.
Fuchs or Time Machine at El Rincon Social in Houston. I'm excited about this.
This sounds very cool to me. Sandy Ewen, a musician and an artist. Tell people what she's doing.
Well, she got an Idea Fund grant to invest $1,000 for 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it will mature in the year 2515 and be worth, if she makes a 4% annualized return, which is reasonable to assume, it will be worth $328 billion in 2515. And so this reception that she's having is going to be the time travelers from 2515 coming back to 2015 for a party.
Because the $328 billion is meant to be spent on
a time machine in 500 years.
Yeah.
But and I think it's going to be a really fun party with musicians and other artists are involved, and there'll be installations, and I think a lot of people will come out for it. But I think there's a deeper thing there that's really interesting about thinking long term into the future. And she herself in an interview in the Free Press said, I think about time travel a lot. And I had to laugh because I think about time travel a lot. I think a lot of people fantasize about time travel. She talked with the Long Now Foundation, which did a great book called The Clock of the Long Now about building a clock for 10,000 years. So she's thinking about these, like, how do you even make an investment for 500 years? The big question will be, what will the time travelers look like? Because I would love it if they were disembodied energy sources, because presumably 500 years from now, maybe we will have like shuffled off this mortal coil and, become like clouds of light. Energy.
In just 500 years? I think that's
Maybe
optimistic.
that's optimistic. Maybe it'll be a giant cockroach. If there's not somebody in a giant cockroach costume reading Kafka, I'll be disappointed.